Hello and welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Dan Costa here with Jill Duffy, and we've got a great show for you today. We're going to break down the top tech news of the day, answer one of your reader questions, and then show you one very cool thing, not necessarily from the shelf in the labs, but something we built right here at PCMag. Before we get to that, I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Tech Bargains. Check out Tech Bargains eBay Frenzy deals, where you get great deals on products you cannot usually get deals on. You can get a PlayStation 4 for under $400, a 16GB iPad 4 for less than $350. To get those, all you have to do is go to the URL on your screen right now or check out techbargains.com for thousands of other deals. Jill, let's move to the big news today. Google I/O. It was a 3-hour keynote. I sat through the entire thing. It was a little dry in some spots, but they launched a ton of new products.
Yeah, lots of new announcements. I think the biggest one is probably Android L. So this is the new Android version. The SDK is out today for developers or anybody who wants to download it. And one of the big announcements about Android L is this unified design called Material Design. I think it's kind of interesting because we've had Windows Metro, which was all about design, changes to design, and then iOS 7, of course, we had the same thing from Apple.
Yeah, the big innovation is that they want to create the Z-axis, so that you're not just moving things right and left, you don't just have X and Y, you've got this depth of field so that there'll be shadows on tiles and cards everywhere, and also that they're going to unify the interface so that the interface on your phone is very similar to the interface on a tablet, and I think it's going to evolve all the way into Chrome as well.
Yeah. Some other news from Google I/O's Android Auto. So this is in-car navigation, in-car compatibility with your Android phone.
Yeah, they're trying to do the same thing that Apple's doing with CarPlay.
Exactly.
Where you can use your car controls to actually change your phone settings and have your phone really be the command center for the automobile. They think they're going to have cars on the road by the end of the year, which is a pretty ambitious schedule given how slow the auto industry moves.
I think it really makes sense, though. I mean, to be using your phone for navigation, to be able to have voice commands for texting, rather than relying on some of those built-in systems that come with your car. Yeah, we'll have more on that soon when we know. There's about 40 auto and tech industry partners right now working with Google in the Open Automotive Alliance. So like you said, probably by the end of the year we'll see some movement on that.
Yeah, one of the things we're seeing right now are the Android Wear watches. We've got 2 watches that are on sale right now. I keep calling it the Moto G, but it's the LG G Watch and the Samsung Gear Live are available for sale now. And the Moto 360, which is getting rave reviews from everybody that has touched it and played with it at Google I/O, that's going to be available this summer, they hope.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot more synchronicity between your smartwatch and your phone with this release. So, and one of the things I liked is that you can now say "OK Google" in the same way that you say "OK Glass" to start a command prompt for your watch. So I think that's kind of neat. Yeah. The other fun little piece that came from Google I/O is the cardboard kit. Yeah. Did you see it at all?
I did see it. Max Eddy's out there. He built the kit.
Yeah.
He's made some videos. He didn't really say a lot about what he thinks about it yet.
Yeah. This is a cardboard kit that they gave out to everybody who was in attendance at Google's big conference, Google I/O. And when you build the kit, it becomes a mock Oculus Rift headband / mask, and you stick your phone in it so that you can see your phone. Kind of silly, kind of fun.
I think it's a great, you know what, it's dev humor, it's perfect for that audience, and I think everybody in the audience loved it, regardless of how well it worked.
In more serious news, we have 2 decisions from the Supreme Court that are affecting technology. The first one is that the police will now need a warrant to search your mobile phone.
Amen.
This is a big boon for privacy advocates. There's just no reason that police or anybody should be able to search your phone without a warrant.
Yeah. I mean, prior to this decision, this was routinely happening in police departments across the country. If you were arrested for any reason or even just detained, the police could actually take your phone and search it without a warrant. And by searching your phone, that means unlocking it. It means looking through all your contacts, all of your call history, all of your photos. Right. All of that could be exposed, and not even back at the police department. Sometimes on the road, at the side of the road, your phone could be searched. There was no call for it. I'm so glad the Supreme Court made the right decision.
Yeah, this was a unanimous decision handed down yesterday, 38-page opinion, and the justices said that searching your phone is different from searching your pockets or your handbag, because the reason police are allowed to do that is basically for their own safety, in case you have any weapons or you have something that will allow you to flee the scene. There's no way you can have a weapon from the information in your phone. So that's what it's all about. The other piece of news from the Supreme Court is that the Supreme Court has effectively killed Aereo. Aereo is an online streaming service that captures network and cable TV and makes it available to you. It rolled out in a select number of cities. It's always been pretty controversial, and the Supreme Court said in a 6-3 vote, so not unanimous on this one, that Aereo violates the Copyright Act. What do you think of this, Dan?
You know, I have mixed feelings about this because what the Supreme Court decided is that Aereo essentially functions like a cable TV operator, and they do. They do. But
that they don't make their own content. They're stealing everybody else's content.
And they kind of are. They are. They're taking it. They're not paying rebroadcasting fees that cable companies are forced to pay. And in 1976, Congress amended the Copyright Act to actually to include cable TV companies in the law, specifically so that they would have to pay rebroadcast fees. It seems pretty clear that Aereo should also have to pay these fees. At the same time, I was kind of pulling for Aereo because they do have a novel technology. They're a disruptive force in the market, and I think the television industry really needs to be disrupted, so I was hoping that they could have a play to here.
The television industry and the broadcasters really need to work with partners like Aereo because they're just not doing it themselves. They're not getting that content online fast enough. They are going to die out soon.
I hope that Aereo doesn't die, that it goes back to the content owners and says, okay, we will pay rebroadcast fees. They jack up their prices a little bit. I still think there's plenty of room. They were charging $8 to $10 a month for access. I think they could charge $20 to $25, pay the rebroadcast fees, and still have a really legitimate competitor to existing cable companies. I would pay for that. So I hope that they're not dead yet and that they just renegotiate.
Do we have a reader question, Dan?
We do have a reader question. We answer reader questions via email, on Facebook, on Twitter. This one comes in from Anna via email. She wants to know, with Dropbox, how do I change the default folder location? And she's running Windows. That's a really great question because a lot of people just accept the defaults.
Yeah. This is an advanced feature in Dropbox. I really don't recommend you do it unless you feel like you're an advanced enough user, but you can totally do it. So you go to your system tray in Windows and you select Dropbox. When you see the gear icon, you go to Preferences, and then you select Move, and you choose the location you want to move that Dropbox folder to. Now, Anna wanted to move it to her My Documents folder. I believe Dropbox will actually make a subfolder that's still going to be called Dropbox. A little bit, you know, if that's really going to bother you, that's okay. But you could also use SugarSync, which is another similar service. It's not free in the same way that Dropbox is, but with SugarSync, you can right-click on any file on any of your computers and choose Sync. That will automatically sync to SugarSync. Again, send us your reader questions. Email. I'm on Twitter at Jill E. Duffy. How do you like your questions?
I like them on Twitter. I like it. That way I answer it once, and and all my followers get to see it.
And you're Dan Costa on
Dan
Twitter?
Costa.
There you go.
Dan Costa.
You want to take a look at one cool thing, or talk about the one cool thing?
I think we should.
Yeah.
So we test thousands of products here in our lab in New York City. We also create publications here at our lab in New York City. And Jill Duffy has just authored the latest PCMag publication. It's Get Organized, but for travel.
Right.
Now, we've already done a Get Organized book, a great volume that's done very, very well on sales. Why did you want to write a travel follow-up to it?
So this is called the Get Organized Guide to Travel. It's about how you can plan, budget, and book a trip using modern technology. So the idea is that I know a lot of people who are just completely lost with how do they get a good deal, how do they stay organized before they go, what do they do with all these confirmation numbers. So I wanted to put in a nice short book, $2.99 on a whole bunch of platforms. It's an ebook. A nice short book that gives you start to finish what you should do, some tips for how to do it. It's very easy. It's very much for beginner and intermediate people.
See, travel is one of the few places that I'm actually kind of a Luddite. I still love paper tickets. Paper tickets, getting on an airplane, there's nothing better. I don't want my phone dying. I love the paper ticket. I can't break myself of that habit.
I feel like that's totally okay. Like if that's how you operate, that's fine, but I have some tips in there that's probably going to help. My one big takeaway is that for all of your really important information, your confirmation numbers, hotel addresses, things like that, you need 2 copies. So in the same way you always have 2 copies of your data when you back up your computer, you need to have 2 copies of all that information. So if one of them is a piece of paper stuck in your wallet, that's fine. The other one should be maybe in your email, maybe in your note-taking app, something like that.
Very cool. We should create some templates, the travel templates that has all this information. Just fill in the fields whenever you go on a trip, print it out, take it with you, and you're good to go.
There you go.
So we got more work to do here at PCMag. Jill, thanks a lot. That has been PCMag Live for today. Tune in tomorrow. We will bring you a brand new show. Have a good day.